Hi. Whew. It's chilly in here. Hey, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? So I tagged a bunch of people. So hopefully everybody gets on, or the majority gets on. But I'm going to get started because for more than one reason. First reason, it's cloudy and there's an overcast today. And the sun is already starting to set early out here in Georgia. So if I don't get started, I'm going to lose sunlight. Hey, Mike. Hey, brother. If I don't get started, I'm going to lose sunlight. And for two, the camper, of course, sits outside. And I don't have power hooked up to it. So it's chilly in here. It's chilly in here. So, all right. So I'm going to get started because the topic was put up. So hopefully you guys will come in and either catch the topic and get caught up with where we are, or y'all listen to it later. So first I want to say welcome. Hey babes, welcome. The majority of the time, everybody kind of joins this or whatever broadcast or video after the fact. That's why I go ahead and get started. Because those who come in live get to pop in. But the majority of the time, I go back and I check the insights on the video. And there are like 50 to 100 people who may have viewed it later on and will like, love, share, or comment on it, which is cool. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all the interaction. So I'm going to get started. First of all, I always like to say before I get started, I am not a relationship expert. I'm a black woman in this world, living this life and doing the damn thing and enjoying myself in the process. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody who stayed in contact and stayed connected with this page. Every week, Friday, I come on, and I take a discussion. We have a discussion, on a topic that flowed through the page. Either through the week, previously at some point, or topics that you guys send me, something. And thank you for sharing. I always want to shout out the fellas, because a lot of times when it comes to conversations and relationships, there are usually a lot of women who interact. But there's so many men who interact on this page and inbox me, and we talk about stuff and we chat, and I love it and I appreciate it and I love you all. I really appreciate it, because the male input is so important. So many times it's just a lot of the female input. So I do appreciate it. That's my brother Mike on. That's first. Hey, brother. That's my baby. I love him to death. That's family right there. All right. So we're going to get started. The topic. If you guys did not see the topic, let me go here, because I like to read it off. I want to read off what the subject is. So this post literally came today. This post came on today. I saw this and I thought it was great. Several things I saved. I save a lot of stuff, a lot of memes, a lot of stuff you guys send to me, or I see it on other pages, and it's a good flow. So this one says, where a man puts his penis does not determine where he wants to be, but where he puts his time does. Let me repeat it. Where a man puts his penis does not determine where he wants to be, but where he puts his time does. I'm anticipating a lot of comments on this one. Maybe it's just me, but we'll see. So, let me turn this down. Oh, he said facts. That's a man speaking. He said facts. Hey, Tanil. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all comment. So Mike said facts. Where a man puts his penis doesn't determine the time where he wants to be. So, let me start here from a female perspective. Ladies. I tend to be the type of woman that words don't mean a lot to me. And I'm sure that's the fact with a lot of people, male or female. Hey, Jerome. Words don't mean a lot. It's actions that stand and mean something. If your actions don't match up your words, you pretty much lost me. You can tell me all day, hey, I like you, I'm feeling you, I want to see you, I want to spend time with you, I like this, I like that, blah, blah, blah. You can say that all day. But if your actions don't match up to what you're saying, you've lost me. So women are emotional beings. We're more emotional. We deal more in here in our feelings and things like that. Men are more on the physical side. Men are more on the physical side. So because we get caught in our emotions sometimes, ladies, and we may go a little too far in that, we get caught in our emotions at times, and we feel like the physical act says he cares for me, or he wants to be with me, or I mean something to him. And I'm going to go a little deep in that in a minute. But when the physical part comes together, for women, for females, you tend to get caught up emotionally. Because you feel like if he's with you in a physical sense, then he's with you. So, okay, I'm sorry. Anybody can do a drive-by, but it's where you want to keep the car parked. I like that. Anybody can do a drive-by, but it's where you keep the car parked. Hey, Simona. Hey, lady. Mike is totally right. Anybody can do a drive-by. So, going back to the emotion part of the woman. So, some women feel like, because this sometimes I think it stems from young. It stems from feeling like sometimes there's a lack of the male figure, there's a lack of the attention and things like that, and it can get misconstrued. As you get older, it can get confusing. When you feel like, you want to give yourself physically to a man, to a guy, and that's going to keep him. And then the physical part happens and he's gone. The physical part happens and the call stops and the attention stops and the time stops. Not realizing that, like Mike's saying, anybody can park their car. So if you don't add substance and build on a relationship before the physical comes into play. And listen, I'm not here to tell anybody when to have sex, how to have sex, and who to have sex with. It's not my job. I can only come from my perspective, where I come from, my morals, my values, my thought process. And I do think it's important. To have a built relationship, a understanding, develop some meaning and feelings into a relationship before you get sexual. Because sex can take you to another level and another place you may not be prepared or ready to go. Especially those who are younger that don't have a lot of experience. I mean, it happens with older people as well. So let me go here. Y'all, it's cold in here. It is cold in here. So again, I am not here to tell people how, when, and where your sexual encounters should come and they should happen. But what we have to understand, that sex does not keep anybody. Sex does not keep anybody. If you have a choice, if you make a choice to have sex with somebody, hopefully the two people are mature enough to possibly have some type of a conversation and have an understanding of one another and know what it is. So I'm on this thing, y'all. Hey, John. I'm on this thing for myself, right? I'm a single woman. I have several friends. I'm big on the process of dating several people. So you can understand and know what you want, what you like, what you don't like, what you don't want. Let me tell you where this concept came from, and I wished I would have listened to it. My mother years ago told us, when we started dating, date more than one person. Learn what you like and what you don't like. So when you get older, you can determine, when you start getting to the point of getting more serious with people, you can determine what type of man you want. Told my brothers what type of woman you want. Y'all, ain't none of us listen. Truth be told, all four of us got married at a young age, and we didn't listen. We didn't listen to the process. Not the way she was saying. But now that I'm here in my life and I have a clear understanding of who I am, and what I want, and what I desire. And look, maturity does not always come with age. Understanding does not always come with age. Sometimes it takes certain experiences and situations for you to learn and really see. So, the dating process, again, dating more than one person. If you choose to date more than one person, and you decide to be sexual with more than one person, that is your business. But just know the connections and the ties that can go with that. Jerome, please define what dating means in the context of what your mother taught you. Okay, so what that meant, Jerome, what she was teaching us was when you date, that means like go out to the movies or go to dinner, go to a game, hang out, do some things like that. So dating as in the literal sense of going on a date, getting to know different people. That's what she meant. When some people look at dating and they define it as, we're dating each other. Like it's you and it's me and we're dating each other. That is dating as well. But when we say go on a date, when someone asks you to go out on a date, then that's what she meant as far as dating. You decide and determine where you want to spend your time. So in other words, she said, don't get caught up with the first person you meet. And when you're young, and all of us have been here, when you're young and you like somebody and you realize that they like you, sometimes you just get, you get a little overwhelmed and you get excited. He likes me or she likes me. And you be, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend. So when she saw us doing that, when she saw us moving in that direction, that's when she would say, hey, well, before, she said that before we got that. But when she noticed, like one particular person, she would say, hey, make sure you enjoying yourself, because dating, you get sprung. Yep. Yep, John. In dating, she said, make sure, you're enjoying yourself. If it's not fun, enjoyable, you should not be doing it. You shouldn't be arguing with somebody, going back and forth with somebody, and if you're not at a certain level. Now, mind you, that's when we were younger, learning the dating process, learning how to date. She was also trying to teach us how to date. So, Jerome, I hope that kind of answered your question. When she said dating, it just meant like physically going out different places with different people, spending time with different people. Not, of course, with a physical connection. It was just dating to get to know people. John said you sprung. That's a simple way to put it. You sprung. Like, you get caught up with that one person, and you lose your mind, and you stuck. And you stuck. Thank you, Jerome. So our topic, everybody, is where a man puts his penis does not determine where he wants to be, but where he puts his time does. So somebody made a comment earlier on the original post that I made, and they said that can go both ways. They said that can go both ways. I can totally agree with that. I totally agree it can go both ways. Because there are some women who the physical, they're in a place where the physical for them is enough. They don't want to be with anyone particularly. They don't want to be tied down, so to speak, or be in a committed relationship. So they choose different people that they deal with and they be with. Women do that as well. We get caught up a lot of times feeling like certain emotions and things are male dominated. And when it comes down to sex tends to be, this world seems to be a male dominated. Sex is a male dominated thing. It's a male dominated activity. It's a male dominated choice. It's a male dominated, and men can do it without any repercussions behind anything. Male dominated. Women do it, and they're talked about, they're ostracized, they're a hoe, they this and they that. But when we come to the point of understanding ourselves and our sexual behaviors and our desires and our wants. Now, I grew up learning and understanding that sex was something that should be held in the confines of a marriage, husband and wife. And that is something my parents taught us. when you don't have sex until you're married. You don't engage in sexual activity with someone until you're married. And truth be told, that did not happen for a lot of us. A lot of us lost our virginities before we got married. And those who didn't, their experience was their experience and their reason was their reasoning. But I grew up learning that and the morals of that and the value of saving yourself and things like that. And I'm not going to say, that I don't still hold that as an important value. I do. I hold it as an important value. My nephew, who I have, is 12. He is liking girls. Lord, he is liking girls. He's talking about, Auntie, when do I get to date? Yeah, at 12. I don't remember talking about dating at 12, but we in a new time. So at 12, this boy wants to know about dating. And I realize we live in a time where everything is out. Everything. In the music, television, commercials, everything seems to have such a sexual connotation to it. Everything has a sexual atmosphere to it. So of course he has questions and he's maturing and he's growing and he's going through puberty and he's having feelings and things like that. So the conversations that we have, and I'm already having these conversations with him because I'm not going to wait till the last minute. The conversations that we have are how important it is to save yourself, your sexual activities, until you're old enough, mature enough, and until you're married. Those are the conversations that I have with him. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not the parent that says my child will never. So I'm not going to start that now. But I just want to teach him a certain way that it is important even for a male to be particular about who he is with sexually. As the point went earlier, that it can go both ways. Jerome said, as you reflect back on what your parents taught you, how would you advise a young lady today? I would have listened to my mother more. The dating pool. So, truth be told, y'all, I have been married more than once. My parents still married. Well, my biological father and my mother got divorced early on, which I definitely feel plays a part in my upbringing, my thought process and everything. But my mom and this man I would not dare call my stepdad because that just seems so disrespectful to me. Although he is not my biological father, but because of who he is and what he's done, I don't feel comfortable calling him my stepdad. That's my daddy. So they've been married. They got married in 1980. So they've been married a very long time. And that's what I saw. And I saw, in the majority of people in my family, there wasn't a lot of divorce. The older couples stayed together. The younger couples, the younger ones of us, different generation, I do say that there has been quite a few divorces. But what I would tell a young lady is take your time. Take your time. And when I say take your time, I mean don't jump so quickly for the first dude that shows you attention. Because truth be told, sister, all of them going to show you some attention in one way or another. Which means the ball is in your court. You don't have to give the ball up. The ball is in your court. And contrary to popular belief or the image, women have more control in a relationship than men do. Tell me I'm wrong, fellas. Please tell me I'm wrong. Women have more control in a relationship than the men do. We pretty much make the decision where this is going to go and how this is going to go and if it's going to go. Had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he said he had a discussion with an older lady. It was at a conference or something. And it was talking about, straight facts, thanks Jerome, it was talking about who is the pursuer, something like that. The prey, or who's the hunter? The hunter. The hunter or the prey. Who's the hunter? The man or the woman? And the majority of the people said the man is the hunter. And when we had the conversation, I said the man is the hunter. Like, men are hunters. They go out, they gather, they prepare, they take care. It only happens when the woman decides. So the hunter, the male or the female. And the consensus in the group was the majority was saying the male is the hunter. And this lady in the conversation we had, he shared with me, the lady was like, no, the woman is the hunter. The woman is the hunter. And it's like, how's the woman a hunter? Because men are taught that you take care of, you know, you go out, you hunt, you get a job, you build a house, you buy a house, you put your family in it, you take care of your family, right? And the woman is there to be a helpmate. And she helps and she takes care of the home and she puts it together, whatever. But this woman was like almost in her 80s, he said. I think he said about her 80s. And she was like, no, the woman is the hunter. Because, put it like this. If a man says to you, hey, how you doing? Just simply, hey, and there's an attraction and you feel it, everything in your mind, ladies, is going to revert to catching this man's attention, keeping this man's attention, and doing things to keep him focused on you. So when he said that, he was like, she said that, I was like, that kind of makes sense. Because I didn't agree with it at first. Because I felt like the norm in life is the man is supposed to hunt. The man is supposed to do. And although he is, the man is the head of the household. The man is the head. He's the lead. And in my opinion, he should be. I want to follow my man. I don't want my man following me. Personally, that's my take. Have I ever been with a man that I could do that with? No. But that comes from different reasons from my past that I am learning why I've chosen the men that I have chosen. Learn better, do better. So anyway, he was saying that, you know, she was like, you know, the woman puts herself in a position where she's drawing this attention. She's getting this attention. Women are hunting. She's drawing this attention. Let me see what you're saying. She's drawing this attention and she's getting the attention of the man. I disagree with that statement. Women are hunters. It is biblically incorrect. Well, let me continue to explain. Because at first, Jerome, I was totally on what you just said. And I do agree. And that is the context of it. But let me explain to you what she was saying. Hopefully even further, maybe you can understand. Not to change your mind about it, but understand where she was coming from. So she was saying that, again, that once the woman grabs the attention of the male, what she does, how she walks at that point, how she talks at that point, how she prepares herself when she knows she's going to see him, they're going to go on a date, they're going to be together that evening or whatever, see each other that day. She puts herself in a position where she's going to attract. It just made so much sense. I wish he was here to explain it, because I may be getting a bit of it wrong, but I totally understood what she was saying. And it's not taken away from the thought process of what you're saying, Jerome, what the Bible says biblically, the woman's position and the male's position. I'm learning to love myself first, because sometimes what you think is love is really lust. Thank you, Tiara. Hey, babes, I'm coming to you. And congratulations, T. Okay. And I'm coming to that. I'm glad you said that. But Jerome, it's not saying to take it out of order or divine order. It's not saying that the woman should hunt the man, pursue the man, things like that. It's saying the innate being in her is with the attraction she's going to do when you start putting yourself together, and not saying that you just put yourself together for a man, but there's things that you do that keep that attraction. There's things that you do that build that attraction. And in other words, the ball is in your court at that point. The ball is in the woman's court at that point, because she's doing all the things that is going to keep this man's attention. And it's not just a physical thing. It's not just how she's looking or whatever. You know, depending on her personality, who she is, her mindset, her level of education and all of that stuff. She's going to use those things that are her, that are richly her, that attracts that. So Tiara says, I'm learning to love myself first, because sometimes what you think is love is really lust. And Tiara, I'm glad you said that, because that's what happens a lot of times as well with women. Women tend to think, I'm in love because I have these feelings, or I want to be with him in this way, or whatever. And men can confuse it as well. We confuse love with lust, because the emotion of sex, the sexual sense and desire is so strong, and it tackles all areas in our body and our senses, that it can be confusing. It can be confusing. Like I said, a lot of these conceptions are based, my page is moving and I went into the white, y'all. I was white on white for a second. A lot of these conceptions are based on Western culture and religious beliefs. I've been all around the world, and this philosophy, stop moving, and this philosophy is not the same or shared world over. That is true. That is true. We come from a place of our culture, what we understand, what we've learned, and there's a world full of other ideas and thoughts. But we have to hold on to something. You know, the conversation has come up a lot with, you know, there are different religions and different paths and different this and different that. And there are different paths to God. There are so many different religions and beliefs. And it's like, who is right and who is wrong? And this is how I see that for me. I always say, I'd rather have something than nothing. And when I say that in my thought process of my spiritual life. If I'm wrong in what I believe, then God help me to get right. Because this man over here grew up in this culture and he's saying this. And this woman over here grew up in that culture and she's saying that. And everybody feels everybody is wrong. And everybody feels that they're right. Right? We feel like we're right. But I truly believe when you live a life that you want to please God, He will help you to know what is needed and what is necessary to be in alignment with Him. It may not look like what I do. Yours may look totally different from what mine looks like. Different pathways to God. I truly believe there are different pathways to God. And when we get in the position where we are criticizing each other and we're talking about each other, and just because you believe this and you don't believe that, listen, we have many, many, many minutes to our lives. And we never know when our last minute is. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with you about what you believe and what you don't believe. I will share what I think is so wonderful and so great, and what is so wonderful and so great, and what He's done for me and is doing for me. I will share that, no doubt. If you believe it, if you attach to it, if you take it, that's not my job. That is not my job. So, Mike, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said about different cultures and different philosophies and different things all over the world, because you're right. They see it in a different way somewhere else. It's seen differently in somewhere else. And so we have to respect each other's differences. But I think at the end of it, when we're talking about this subject, where a man puts his penis does not determine where he wants to be, but where he puts his time does. I don't want to veer too, I kind of veered. I don't want to veer too far from that. But that is a fact. I believe that's a fact. Because again, men are physical beings. Not saying that y'all don't have emotion. I realize a man's need and desire is to be respected and to be appreciated. Might be wrong. Respected and appreciated. Truth be told, I was not always in a position where I showed my man respect and appreciation. Because I am an alpha female. I'm an alpha female. So being an alpha female, and I'm going to tell y'all the truth, I've been like this all my life. This is not something that just happened. Well, more of it developed because of things that happened, and I lacked trust. I end up lacking trust because things that were happening. People did come into my life who were not on the up and up and weren't right. Of course, you know. So there's hurt, there's mistrust, all that stuff happened. But initially, I'm an alpha female. Growing up, I was always like taken care of. And if we understand how that works, alpha, betas, if we understand how that works, an alpha is not necessarily the one that's up front and just, An alpha isn't one that's going to be dominant over everybody and mean and controlling and this and this and that. That is not what an alpha does. That's not what an alpha is. An alpha is more of a protector. Because if you really think about it, the leader's going to hang back and make sure everybody's taken care of. So in that process, that thought process, I've always been that way all my life. So when I meet certain men that don't have a certain thing about themselves, it's easy for me to lose respect or even grow respect, right? It's easy for that to happen. I'm sorry. Women are very powerful. God has blessed women with supernatural feminine energy. Unfortunately, many women have not tapped into their feminine energy. Speak on that, Jerome. Speak on that. And I really feel like society has poured so much into this thought process opposite, that we feel like and can feel like that men are the dominant and that men have more of the control. And I dare say women fear, they have that fear of, okay, if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to lose him. If I do the wrong thing, I'm going to lose him. And I feel like, Jerome, what you're saying is tapping into that that supernatural feminine energy and understanding the power of it. Man. I always say, use your powers for good and not evil. Use your powers for good and not evil. Because if a brother can't understand, no, I'm not having sex with you, or no, my time is my time, then it's just not what he understands. He's just not the one to be around in your circle. But you're right, Jerome. Women have so much power that they don't tap into and understand and realize that the ball is in your court. And it's not saying that you're being dominant over the man and you're controlling him and you trying to control the situation, but in so many ways you should control the situation. You should control the situation. So when you think having a sex with a dude is what's going to keep him, and you think having sex and being physical and all those things is what makes him like you or love you more, not factual at all. Not factual at all. Not factual at all. I would dare say the woman, the young lady who keeps herself and does not have sex with somebody before gaining a level of respect with that person is the one that's going to get what she wants. Is the one that's going to get what she wants. So, you know how people used to say, or they may still say it. I hope they still say it. But I used to hear a lot that a guy is not going to take the promiscuous girl, the girl that he's always getting sex from and can do anything or whatever with. That's not the one he going to take home. It's not the one he taking home. It's not the one he going to present to his mother. The one that's the quiet, laid back, respectful one, the one that says, no, I don't want to do that. The one that says, no, you go ahead. I'm good. The one, that's the one. That is the one. Fellas, check me if I'm wrong. Check me if I'm wrong. There's such a misconception, and I hate it for our young people, because especially our young ladies, you know, coming out of high school, going into college, young, dating or whatever, feeling like giving themselves up to the guy is what's going to make them be number one. And it's really, really not. Because if you understand the mind of a man, and we will never fully understand it. Y'all say we complicated. Y'all brothers, y'all not we're complicated because we have so many dynamics that we come from and thought processes, and y'all kind of like this. But when you sit down and have a conversation, it's like, man, I can't figure this brother out. I don't know what he's thinking of. I don't know what he wants. But ladies, we're like, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is da. So the complication seems like it's one-sided. But brothers, y'all tend to be kind of complicated too. But when you learn the mind of a man and the ways of a man, the needs and the desires of a man, you realize it comes way more easier for you to be the lady, to be the woman, to sit back and So Mike says, men look for peace. Yeah, let me open this up. It won't open. Let me see. Lift it up. Men look for peace in a relationship. So thinking that it's all about the way you look and then you'll see your man with someone who may be less attractive is because he's receiving peace and love. I love my peace. Brother, y'all just like you in my head because I was gonna make a statement similar to that, Mike. And what I was gonna say was when I hear more brothers say no makeup, hair in a ponytail, or just, hair down or whatever, some sweatpants on, that's when she is the cutest to me. I'm not gonna lie. Every relationship that I've gotten into on a serious level was when I was not looking what I felt my best. I was not looking what I felt my best. I did have sweatpants on when I met one particular guy. He came, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm pumping gas, bruh. But there was something. So the physical part of it, because the physical will fade. I mean, pretty is pretty. You're going to look good. Handsome is handsome. Fine is fine or whatever. Because you get older, things may fall and sag and wrinkles come, but you're going to look the way you look. And my mom used to always say, every baboon think their baboon is cute. So who's not cute to you may be cute to somebody else. That's not the point. Excuse me. That's not the point. The point is what you see in that person, what works for you, what gives you peace and happiness and understanding and respect. Something to the effect of what Mike's saying. To have that peace. That's what that brother wants, and that's what he needs. So if you feel like because, he can come over for a booty call or you're going to make yourself sexually appealing to him and you want to be like that all the time or whatever, that's what's going to keep him, that is not. Now, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm a neat freak. I got to touch of OCD. That's my mama's fault. Everything had to match. And I'm still like that. So even when I go to bed, I'm matching. Like, that's just me. That's just how it is. So pretty much how you see me is how you going to get me all the time. Good point. Good plug. Don't switch up on people. Don't switch up. How they see you, what you give to them to make them fall for you, you have to continue to give that. And we got to understand what that means. I don't mean I'm going to be picture perfect every day. But that means my insides, my heart, my emotions, how I treat you, how I talk to you, how we react. Those things need to stay. And if your man likes you to look a certain way when he comes home, and you do that in the beginning, and you want to make sure, he coming home, I got to get myself together. I got to look however he want, whether that be sweatpants or whether that be, some boy shorts or whatever. You got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that. And same thing both ways the other way, brothers. She like that haircut every 2 weeks or whatever. Get that cut. Trim that beard. Make sure you look good for her. We have to work on our relationships and keeping. And when our relationships fail, which they do and they can, we have to look at what we did. But please know the physical. The whole point of this post, of this meme, is pretty much saying to me, it's not the physical. It's not the physical that's so important in the relationship. It's not the physical. It's what's in here is what matters. Because a man or a woman is going to want to spend their time with someone who they can connect with, who they respect, and respects them, and they have that good bond and connection with. You need me? What's up? Not yet. What you need? You can go? Okay. Sorry, y'all. So, Mike said women have that advantage because women will see their man as he is when it comes to the physical. Makeup is a plus. I'd rather see you first mentally and physically. Love you, sis. I have to go, but I will be following up. Great topic. Peace and love, family. Thank you. Love you, brother. Love you, Mike. Yeah, that physical. We cannot harp on that physical. That's not what keeps the relationship. That's not what builds the relationship. Now, if you and your partner have a strong sex drive and y'all sexual relationship is like high, both of y'all have a high libido, and and that's what y'all do, that's what y'all do. I'm not saying that sex is not important to the relationship, but what I'm saying is, as this said, if you realize a man is not going to stay just where he getting sex. That's not the important part. He's not going to just stay just because he's getting sex. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you have to tap into the things, ladies and men, because this goes both ways. You have to tap into the things that they enjoy, they love. The word peace comes up a lot. Now, I truly believe you have to have your own peace. You can't expect me to be your peace. I can add to your peace. I can be a part of your peace. But if you don't have your own peace, don't come looking for mine. That's how I see that. But when we talk about when we talk about it and having your peace and understanding, we need to understand what that means. So be his peace. Be her peace. Because truth be told, women don't want to argue, fuss, and fight all the time. They just want you to hear them. Most of the times, we just want to be heard. We just want to be heard. You don't have to try to fix it, try to solve it. We just want to be heard and feel like you're hearing us. And you have some level of understanding of what we need. Because if you hear us and you have a level of understanding of what we need, then your thought process when you're dealing with me is going to go back to those things. So, the physical, where a man puts his penis, does not determine where he wants to be. Get past the physical. Get past feeling like sex is so major and so necessary that if I don't do it, he's going to leave and go to somebody else. If he leaves and goes to somebody else because he's not getting sex from you, deuces to the brother. Let him go. Because you may end up getting caught up in a relationship even though you giving it to him. He getting it from somebody else too anyway. So learn to build that respect. Learn to build that understanding. Have a peace with one another. Learn each other. Like, it's not necessarily just jump right in to have sex with somebody. Because when he ups and leaves, and when he goes and deals with somebody else, and you find out he's cheating, or she, then you hurt, you angry. Men ain't ish, women ain't that. And that's because a lot of times, excuse me, I'm so sorry. A lot of times we bring those feelings onto ourselves. Because I'm a firm believer in when a brother tell you who he is and shows you, believe him. I'm a firm believer in when a sister shows you and tell you who she is, believe her. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with heartache, hurt, pain, frustration. 99% of our stress, 90%, let me go to 90, because I learned this the other day. Let me go to 90. 90% of our stress comes from other people. Whether we're caring for them and we're worried and concerned and we're stressed, or they bringing stress into our lives because they just drama and whatever. So we have to know how to protect our peace. We have to know how to create our peace. And doing that is not doing something before you really want to, desire to, or need to. We have to remember it has to be a need as well. All right, y'all, so I'm losing light. Sun goes down early. I'm in the camper. No power in here. Not hooked up to a power source. So I'm going to end this. I thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Okay. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Of course, go back and watch the video. It'll be posted and pinned at the top of the page all week, so you can make your comments. And just know, just because the video ends doesn't mean the discussion ends. That's just proven so all the way through me doing this. I'm always able to come back and be able to see people comment and still interacting. All right, love y'all. Enjoy. Hey, send me some topics for next Friday. Let's keep discussing and let's keep building, because this whole page is about building happy, healthy relationships, and you giving what you know and what you've experienced that could help somebody else. All about helping each other. Love y'all. Bye.